You made 5.9 million Facebook ads last time around. Hillary Clinton made 66,000. Will you make that many again? I mean, this is for super, super precise micro-targeting.
Yeah. I don't know that answer yet. We have to see what the playing field is. You know, some days I wake up and I think that Facebook, Twitter, Google, all of them will maybe not play fairly.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe they decide that they want to make the API a little harder to do those things. Maybe, like right now, Facebook, it used to be that we could put an ad up in a few seconds. Now it takes a couple days. So it's really hard to put up 5.9 million ads when you can't use the API automatically.
And you recently met with Facebook executives.
I met with Facebook, and I brought up that as one of my items that I was very frustrated with. I went straight at them, and I said, you know, this is a kind of a change that is biased towards us. Understanding how our technology works, you created a rule which made it more difficult for us to use that. That's a frustrating standpoint. So maybe they do take that away from us. I don't think in the interim we'll figure out a way to do what we need to get done. I think by that time, and I think right now, we have a popular president. He's more popular than he was on Election Day. He's the most popular Republican president in modern history. And I think that we'll see a successful candidate Trump in 2020.
It's ironic that you're frustrated by Facebook, given that some people believe Facebook played a critical role in winning the election.
Well, I've been very specific that I think Facebook's how we won. In a lot of ways. I think President Trump won. I think Facebook is that 0.1% that delivered his message. I think if Facebook wouldn't exist, it would have been a lot tougher. Facebook connected the country. It's connected rural America, cities, and people all across this country in different types of backgrounds. And it's doing exactly what it was designed to do, which was connect us all. I think Facebook also is a liberal company that maybe its management isn't, but it has an inherited bias, just like these other companies. It's based in a place that is probably extremely biased. I mean, I can see it today being up here talking to you. Northern California is not Eastern Kansas, and their employees have bias. And those decisions probably go into every line of code they write and everything they do. And that's going to be something they have to swap at and try to kill. But I will tell you, I do think Facebook, probably more than all the companies, is trying to kill it. The question you're asking me is whether or not they can crush that. And I don't know if they can. I think the inherent bias of those companies is significant. And I think it's up to me to be a person as a leader in our party and someone that's running the campaign to make sure that those companies are held accountable, that they do everything they can to try to kill those internal biases and to provide an even playing field for this country.
What about Twitter? How has your engagement been with them?
They did not contact me back from the letter that we sent. I have spoken to Mr. Dorsey a couple times. I do feel that company is even more squandered with bias. It's, I think the platform itself is not useful other than putting out press releases and for the press to figure out what's going on in the country. Also
ironic given that Twitter is the president's megaphone. And
well, no, that's what I said. It's great for press releases, but I do not think it's a. I explain it like this: trying to convince somebody on Twitter of something is like going into a bar at 1:30 a.m. Right before they turn the lights on and try to sell somebody something. If you can do that, then you could sell something on Twitter. Facebook's much more like a church on Sunday.
There's concerns about Facebook engagement and trust in social media. What are the digital platforms in 2020 that are going to matter most?
Yeah, I do think that YouTube from Google is going to end up playing a big role. I think as we see cable TV move over to internet-based kind of shows, the continued use of watching television and content on on the internet is a significant change from TV. And I do think YouTube will play a role, a larger role than it played in 2016. But
how so?
Well, I just think that where eyeballs go. Remember, eyeballs are finite in some ways, right? So you can only place them so many times. If you're watching Facebook for 4 hours this year, but next year you're watching 3 hours of Facebook, but 1 hour of YouTube, you know, that changes. So we're going to monitor where eyes are going. I think YouTube continues and Google continues to work on that platform and make improvements. I think what Google has done to the search algorithm also to put YouTube results at the top, they continue to put a lot of focus and they understand the value of that platform. So we're watching it closely. We're using it for a lot of things now. We're using it probably more now than we even were in 2016. Even this early out. So I do think it'll increase its role.
And how will you divide your budget between digital TV and
it's too early to make that kind of decision. I mean, you never know. I mean, YouTube could blow up and we're all watching YouTube on our phones and it skyrockets and it'll change my budget. When the day I have to make my budget decision and I make that with the team is the day I'll split that all up, and that might change hour by hour too as we see the data come in. I just hope that that Google's paying attention to what Facebook and Twitter are doing. They're even a bigger company, probably more even biased, especially their CEOs actually invest their time and money directly in the races, where I think Zuckerberg has been probably better of trying to stay less biased in his own personal views. I mean, I think he has a view of what he believes a progressive America is, but I think he tries not to influence politics as much. I think Eric Schmidt and these other people directly try to influence it. I'll be curious to see if they're able to swat down the bias within their company and keep YouTube as a even playing field. I think right now conservatives are already starting to say that they've been shut out of YouTube. Videos are devalued within their algorithm based off some of the views within it. And conservative messages in America are important. There's still a lot of faith-based people in this country, and they believe in what that means, and I would hope that Google wouldn't cut any of that out.